Today, I'm testing whether I'm better at cooking than AI. With the ingredients that I have in my fridge and pantry, I'm going to make 2 dishes. Dish number 1, I'm going to be thinking about myself. With the ingredients that I have, I'm going to make up some sort of dish. For dish number 2, I'm going to put all the ingredients I have, put them into ChatGPT, and see what it can come up with. I'm then going to cook both, and I'm going to have a third party, aka my girlfriend, taste both without knowing which one is best, and then she can decide which one is better. It's obviously based on my cooking skills, but the idea is mine versus artificial intelligence. So I'm gonna go to my fridge and my pantry, see what I have, and then we can ask ChatGPT. I'm not gonna lie to you, I've just come back to Geneva, so the fridge is not very full. Okay. I have some veggies. An orange, a banana, a bell pepper, solid, half a zucchini. Some things. That's a project for another video. A source of protein, veggie burgers, a bunch of sauces, a bunch of stuff. I then have a pantry full of dry ingredients, essentially. I also have oil, vinegar, salt, pepper. In here I have a bunch of oils, soy sauces, coconut oil, palm oil, other vinegars, just spices for days. You're about to see exactly what I have on screen right now. We can work with that. Okay, given that ChatGPT has the entire internet to scour information from, I think I'm gonna go first in order for it not to take my idea. It is also fair to say that I know my girlfriend's tastes. So I've decided to go with a burrito. I'm going to make the tortilla from scratch. I have some flour here that I made the other day because I was going to make scones. I still might, but this is self-raising flour. I'm going to make some refrito beans with canned beans, the dried chilies, garlic, and some spices because I don't have much else. And then I'm going to make the filling with the pepper and the meat with spices, obviously. Some rice maybe in it. It's missing a green element. I don't have lettuce or avocados. I can't make guac, but I think it's going to be a nice burrito. Maybe I'll add the half green onion that's in the fridge as green. I think it's a solid plan for a meal that my girlfriend might like. It's time to now look at ChatGPT. I've compiled a list of things that I have in my fridge and pantry, and it's not everything to a T because, for example, I wrote dried beans, but I have dried lentils as well. Maybe I write dried lentils. Maybe it wants me to do a dal, you know? I have flour, chilies, you know. I also wrote that I have olive oil, even though I have other oils. That's coconut oil, peanut oil, sunflower seed oil. Okay, I hope I haven't forgotten anything. I feel like this is an extensive list for ChatGPT to make something from it. Remember, always be polite so that when AI takes over the world, they're gonna spare your life. And copy and paste everything. I don't think it's going to use all of the ingredients, but just to be extra safe, I'm gonna send it. Okay. I knew this was gonna happen. My girlfriend loves pasta. I think she finds gochujang a little too spicy, so there is hope that I can win this. But it's a good recipe, unfortunately. Let me add, I'm going to follow these instructions exactly as ChatGPT intended. So I'm not going to do anything different from this list because I'm testing the AI's cooking. Obviously, I'm cooking, but you know. And with all of that said, recipe number 1, my recipe, and recipe number 2, ChatGPT's recipe. And I guess it's time to get cooking.
So when I saw the ingredients, I decided to make a burrito because I know my girlfriend loves a good burrito. The first step in making a homemade burrito is obviously making the tortilla. You're watching me make one now with flour, hot water, salt and butter, but this took a couple attempts because it started out a little too tough, so I had to make it again. While the dough rested, I moved on to making the sauce for the refrito beans. I rehydrated some dried chilies with some hot water and then cut a couple onions and a garlic clove to mix all together with a bouillon cube and some more water. Again, I'm making do with the ingredients I have. This is not 100% a traditional recipe, but it's quite close. I put the mixture aside while I cut a bell pepper, which I used about half of, to go into the refrito beans together with the canned kidney beans. This obviously needs some spices, so on top of the olive oil I added salt, pepper, cumin and paprika. I then added the mixture, covered for about 15 minutes. For the veggie part of the filling, I cut up some more onion and the rest of the bell pepper, as well as a couple garlic cloves. I put all of this into a small pan with some olive oil and simply spiced it with some salt and oregano. At this point the bean mixture has cooked for long enough, so I took it off the heat and started mashing with a potato masher to achieve a final result of the perfect refrito bean consistency, in my opinion.
I feel like you're about to comment about the rice, but it's parboiled rice, so it can be cooked like pasta. I always do that. I don't know if it's not, sue me, okay? I don't know.
Lastly, I took one of the 2 veggie burgers in the fridge, spiced it and browned it a little bit. Finally, before wrapping up the burrito, I had to cook the tortilla a little bit, so I rolled it out and placed it in a scorching hot pan before placing in a towel. This allows the tortilla to cool down without losing too much of its moisture. The moisture actually helps later on with making it a lot more pliable and easier to work with. Watching this back, I think I could have made a sauce, perhaps with a bit of citrus flavor like the orange and the chilies, but I think the bean mixture actually helped it not being dry at all.
The adjudicator only comes home later tonight, so it's gonna go in the fridge. Gonna heat everything up later. Hopefully that doesn't change much. I've made a slight mistake in that I've used all the bell pepper for the burrito. However, I cooked a bit too much of it, so I have some cooked, which I'll use for the pasta, because I forgot that I needed it for the pasta too, so I'll be doing that.
I have to give credit to AI because this recipe started out great. It was just a normal pasta recipe, but by me saying this, you're probably wondering what goes wrong later on. So I cooked the pasta like I normally would and reserved some cooking water. I then got chopping all the ingredients to prepare for step number 2. Again, nothing wrong here. I started sauteing the onion and garlic, then added the meat until browned, and then finally the zucchini and bell pepper. And this is finally where I start having a problem with the recipe. It uses only a 1/4 cup of red wine, 1 tablespoon of everything, including tomato sauce. So this ended up not being saucy at all, and when I added the cream, I had to essentially add the entire pasta water I had set aside. So with that little adjustment, the pasta was actually decent. It definitely didn't need more salt and pepper because of all that umami from the gochujang and doenjang.
This is a gochujang mincemeat pasta, and this is a bean burrito. One of these dishes was made by ChatGPT, one by myself, just using the ingredients that we had in the fridge and the pantry. You have to try both, decide which one is better, so we see whether I'm a better cook than ChatGPT is.
Do maths. Spicy.
Okay, she has a verdict. She's going to now point at the one she likes the most, whenever you're ready. Okay. And which one do you think I made for you?
pick this one.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
AI defeated. So there you go. AI defeated. I think it was a really good recipe what it came up with. I think the ingredients themselves were good, but the amounts were completely off. It tasted okay, but it could have been much better. I would have added a lot more tomato sauce, a bit less doenjang, and a bit... No, actually gochujang, probably 1 tablespoon was enough. But anyway, it was very, very strong umami and a bit too spicy, to be honest. But I still won nonetheless. AI still has nothing on human cooking. There you go. That's the answer. If you enjoyed the video, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment, let me know what you like, what you don't like. And I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.